Watch giants fall like Goliath. David, I dance, this ain't no TikTok. God told me that my steps was ordered, walking in flip-flops. Chris Rock, how they laughed at me.
Ruslan KD. He's one of the channels that I follow and I watch and look up to. And he was talking about her name is Delane. She did a Bud Light commercial. She's part of the LGTB community. She's trans or he's trans. And he's trying to open up his walk with God, or saying that he's exploring the thought of it or the idea of it. And I just want to play this. I think Ruslan really opened this up. So let's listen to this and let's get into this, guys. We want to show you still. I want to pull this up on the screen as well. Just a second, guys. About to hit play on here. All right.
Dylan Mulvaney opens up about a relationship with God.
Hi, I'm going to preface this video by saying this video might seem a little out of left field for me because I don't often speak about my faith on here. So if you are at all triggered by God or religion, you can totally keep on scrolling. I love you. And if you're still here, where my Jesus girlies at? Hey.
Hold on.
Dylan blew the triggered church folks a kiss, or the people that are triggered by God.
Yeah. The folks that are triggered. Yo, the fact that there's a trigger warning.
Yeah. I'm about to talk about God.
Chef kiss. This is amazing. This is amazing.
That's it. I don't like this at all.
Where my Jesus girl is at?
You're still here. Where my Jesus girlies at? Hey. I am in a okay place with God right now, and I'm trying to find what my faith is after, kind of growing up in the church and then being really burned by it. And right now, God and I are like dating again. We're not exclusive and we're not living together, but we're in a good place.
Dating again.
Not exclusive.
There was a time where they weren't dating. See, this is where when we just we just romanticize God, romanticize Jesus, everything becomes Jesus is my husband. Song of Solomon's really about Jesus in the church. I can't wait to get married to Jesus in heaven.
Yes.
Okay. Jesus, any reference of God or Jesus having a bride relationship with the church. It's about the church. It's not about you. Okay. You're thinking of a different Jesus. All right. So let's stop with this. God is as much of a husband to us in a communal sense, not in a literal sense.
Dylan's contextualizing a relationship with God in the way that Dylan knows how to, which is like kind of laissez-faire, worldly. Like, oh, we're in a relationship. We're dating.
We're not exclusive. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm thinking way too deep about it. Maybe I'm thinking too deep.
But maybe Dylan knows.
Okay, let's play.
I read something today that really got me thinking, because it was a journal entry from a few months ago when I was really going through a difficult situation. And it said, if God was real, why would God let this happen to me? And now I read it back and I thought back on that specific situation.
What if Dylan secretly has our Bless God prayer journal and has been
journaling in the thing? Dylan's listening to like Frank Turek working out apologetics.
Yo,
what? Well, the problem of evil.
What if Dylan really be checking out Christian YouTube like that?
Wow. That'd be phenomenal.
So grateful that I went through it, and I'm so much stronger because of it. And I actually thought maybe God was like the most present with me during that situation.
Okay.
Because I needed to come out a changed person, someone that's stronger, someone that has learned something.
Man, I wanna speak to this real quick. Because I think he brought up a great thing right there. We won't get back to the video, but God is with you, even in your lowest times. God says, if you decide to make your bed in hell, I'm with you. God is with you, especially those that have true, honest hearts seeking after God, those who have true, honest desires after God. God is with you in all times. He said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So yeah, no, I'm gonna give my full thought on this, but I wanted to throw that in there, guys. But let's keep listening here. We'll let this keep playing. Yeah, I just want to put that out there, guys. Like, God's with you regardless, man.
And I am just so sick these people trying to use God and religion against the community.
Oh,
like, we are
gosh.
not entitled to having
Dylan,
any
stop. I was tracking.
You're like, wow, okay.
I was tracking. I was like, okay, all right, okay. I don't know about the dating Jesus part, but okay. I like the, you're doing the journaling. Okay, we got a prayer journal. I like that. And then it goes right into people using God and religion to be against the community. Listen, once upon a time, I will say that the church probably didn't treat the LGTB community very well. And I don't say LGTB as a pejorative. I say LGTB because I like LGTBs. And
that's a fact. We have lots of LGTBs.
We have lots
here.
of LGTBs. And I have to say it to avoid the algorithm thing. I think the church is very nice to the LGBT community now. I think we're so nice. I think we're so careful with our words. I think we give so many caveats and prescriptions of like.
I mean, he's right. I mean, the church is overly hospitable to this community. He's not lying. I mean, you got to think most churches nowadays, they're even scared to talk on these topics. Most pastors won't even bring it up. So to sit back and say that the church has this animosity or issue with them, I don't know too many Christians that wouldn't allow someone of this community in their home, wouldn't witness to them, allow them to come into their church. I think it is a little bit of a farce to say that, but I'm gonna let Ruslan keep talking.
Well, but sexual morality is sexual morality. I think this is the most delicate time. You got Jubilee trying to, consistently like lean into, we're gonna have Christians versus non-Christians, except plot twist, it's really just gonna be LGTB versus Christians, and then one LGTB Christian, which is this is the best time for someone to be LGTB and be in evangelical circles. And your TikTok comments is not the church. Pull up to my church on a Sunday. Pull up to any evangelical church or Catholic church, Orthodox church. No one's kicking you guys out.
Amen.
No one's giving you the boot. No one.
Amen, dude. I was just saying this. I've never gone to a church and see a LGBT person or some of this community go to the church and they be kicked out. That doesn't happen. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Stoning you, right? Like, you're welcomed. If anything, you probably get more attention and affection and grace and welcoming.
And a lot of the times the comment will be like, I hope you find God, or you need Jesus. And I'm like, honey, I found God and we're in cahoots. We're doing just fine. And a lot of the times too, really hateful commenters, I'll click on their profile and in their bios, they'll have a Bible quote and it'll be like, treat everyone, equally. I'm like, well, what the hell? What did you just leave in my caption or in my comments?
Dylan, I think when someone's saying this to you, they're not attempting to dehumanize you. They're attempting to say, hey, get aligned with God's vision for you, which is all encompassing. God's dream for you, God's heart for you, God's purpose for you is all encompassing. And it has a reflection on the body he decided to put you in, right? That God does have an opinion on that Jesus says in the beginning, he made a male and female. So I think that's what someone he's getting. I don't think they're trying to say you can't have a.
And I just want to cut in here to expound on what Ruslan is saying, guys. Like for real, man. Like God, when we say, okay, we're allowing God into our life. And yes, it's a growing and it's a pruning, and it takes time for God to be able to really change us from the inside out. A lot of times it's not just an instant you become saved and you're all of a sudden everything is changed. And there needs to be grace and understanding for new Christians that are in the faith for that growing time. But in the same conversation, it doesn't always mean that someone's being judgmental towards you. And it doesn't always mean someone's coming against you when they say, hey, you're deciding to be on this side of the fence, this team, but you're still wearing the jersey of this other team. That's all that is saying, hey, there's things you're doing that is apart from the team you joined. If I say I used to be a Green Bay Packer player and I got drafted to the Dallas Cowboys, I can't still be showing up to Dallas Cowboy practices with, Green Bay sneakers on and, my Green Bay gear. I mean, the first few days of practice, the first few times, they may not say nothing to me, but eventually, hey, bro, you on the Cowboys now. Somebody gonna say, hey, bro, you ain't playing for the Green Bay no more. You got to switch jerseys. You know what I mean? So not everything happens overnight, but judgment starts in the house of the Lord. And I do want to get that clear. Judgment starts in the house of the Lord. And so we do need to bring people in with love and kindness, but we also have to be conscious enough, and they have to be conscious enough to say, hey, this person loves me. And then some people come and hate, but this person loves me, and they're actually trying to guide me in the proper direction. Don't take everything as judgment. I'm gonna let Rusan, kind of finish here with his statement, and I'm gonna just let him kind of talk it out, and I'm gonna just be quiet for a little bit, and then we gonna move on to the next subject. But man, this is a good one right here.
Relationship with God, you can't go to church, you are subhuman, you are inferior. I think they're saying, hey, get aligned with the goodness of God and God's ways for you. I think that's what they're trying. Now, maybe, to be fair, maybe they're not being the most delicate in the way they're saying some of these things. Maybe they are, and you're just receiving them wrong. If we believe that we have a soul, then we believe there's a supernatural. If we believe there's a supernatural, that means that there's a one that stands outside of our natural realm. We would say that is God. If God then creates us all, God ultimately is putting our souls in our bodies. So when someone's saying that to you, it's because there seems to be an inconsistency, an incongruence between you believing there's a God, you believing that God gave you a soul, and then that God puts you in the wrong body. That's what they're trying to say to you, that there's an inconsistency here that would communicate to the rest of us that perhaps you don't fully grasp that the God of the universe has a desire for you and knit you together in your mother's womb before you ever had a platform, and he had a heart for you.
They might watch this video and say, well, that's Satan masquerading himself as a believer. And I sure hope not, because I do not fare well in extreme heat. But also, I don't feel evil. I don't feel like a bad person. And I would like to think that I can still have a relationship with some version of God. And I also kind of laugh thinking about those people, like, spending their whole lives hating a specific type of person, and then they check into heaven and they get their outfit on, and then they get escorted to the cafeteria, and there's assigned seating, and they're seated next to like someone like me.
I want to speak on that. I want to speak on that. Of what they just said there. There is how do I say this? There is a line that has to be drawn when it comes to these sort of subjects. God says in his word that your heart, what seems right unto a man, ends in death. So by trusting yourself, we will come to your own fault. That goes back to what we were talking to in the topic previously before just now with the other lady and Tasha K. Guys, that line that I'm talking about that has to be drawn is that at the end of the day, our hearts are wicked. Everything that we feel and think and come to our minds don't inherently always feel bad. These things don't always feel like, oh, we're doing wrong, or this is evil, or I feel like a bad person. Honestly, a lot of stuff that I did in the spirit of time, me walking away from God, it didn't feel bad. It feels good. It's something that I enjoyed at the time, and I had to be told that it was wrong, and I had to have God take the scales off my eyes and see it. And so that's something. This is a scary place to get. When you get to that place where you think that, and that's why again we need people and ambassadors in this world that will intercede on situations like this and allow people to see this. And that's not hate towards one person over the other. It's not that someone hates you. It's that we love you enough to tell you this, and it's up to you to pick it up or take it. No one's forcing you. But let's let them talk just for a tad bit longer here, guys. I want to let her finish her point, or him finish his point.
They've got to just sit together eating for the rest of eternity. Can't wait.
So just good, dude.
I like
Listen,
it.
man, LGBT people are fun. Like, you can say what you want. They're fun.
put a little outfit on, go to the cafeteria. Cafeteria. I love how like heaven's eating quarters aren't even like a feast.
Yeah,
like a wonderful dinner. It's like a cafeteria.
it's like a cafeteria. I don't want cafeteria food.
Yeah, I don't want cafeteria.
Cafeteria. I think, having said all of this, I don't think anyone is saying that you are not allowed to go to church, or you are not allowed to have a relationship with God, or you're not allowed to explore Jesus, or you're not allowed to read the Bible. I don't think that's anyone's heart, or maybe like that's Westboro Baptist heart. Let me not say that. And I don't think people even think you're too far gone. And I believe there's people actually praying for you. Like there's people genuinely praying for you and believing the best for you, and believing that God is and maybe will and maybe is right now in real time trying to get a hold of you. The dangerous part in what I'm hearing about your language is, even in what you said, is some version of God.
Mm-hmm.
So which version of God? The version of God that you want to placate to your values and what you think is right and wrong and good and evil, or God? Because they're very different. Because Romans 1 says that they basically created God in their own image. They made idols and made God they can contain, a God they can manage. The second part is, you don't feel evil. Fair enough. I'm sure you don't. I would agree. You don't feel evil. The issue is, sometimes the greatest atrocities, the greatest things done in the name of enlightenment, in the name of religion, were done by people who felt very justified in doing said things. So our feelings aren't always a barometer on if we're in right standing or if we're moving the right way. Often our feelings are very deceptive, and our feelings can lead us into a very dangerous place, because we can be self-deceived. You can think about the last time any of you have sinned. Think about the last time any of you have done a bad choice. You probably didn't feel bad about it going into it. You felt the conviction on the other side of it. And some of us have gone into situations where we didn't just make a mistake or commit a sin. We stayed in a state of sin, right? Some of you guys may have binged for a weekend. Some of you guys may have said you were going to just do it one last time with that person you know you shouldn't be with, and then that turned into a sexual immorality slumber party, right? Or I'm going to have just that one last hit, and then all of a sudden you're off, you're on one. No one thinks and feels evil while they're doing that. It's when they come out of it and the fog clears that you go, oh, whoa, I was bugging. So I think that's important to know. Let's keep watching.
I really think that maybe someone like me, people like me, maybe we're like a discrepancy in nature. Let me describe what I mean. Like, have you ever seen a flower before that you're like, holy crap, how can that color exist in nature? Like, how is that natural? Because a lot of people look at someone like me and they say that's a very unnatural person. Maybe that's like someone like me. Maybe what's so crazy though is that usually when we look at those things in nature, we're fascinated by them. We admire them. We want to learn how that's possible. But when it comes to human forms that maybe have some discrepancies or a little different, we immediately want to turn away from what we don't understand and what we don't know. And I think maybe, what if there was a way to find connection through faith? And what if I wasn't here as something evil, but what if I was here as something good?
People,
man, I wanna expound on that, because I do believe that people like him were brought here for something special. You were brought here to shed a light on a category in a place that wouldn't have been shed on had you not been here. And I think that, if anybody talks to someone of this community and speaks down to them in such a way where we're saying you're not valuable because you are different than the status quo that makes you wrong. No, we all come into this world. We're all born into sin. So we all have certain sins and desires and different abnormalities that may make us different than the other. But God, everything that the devil meant for bad, or everything that was looked at to be bad, God has always turned into for good. Even if we look at the gentleman that God healed that had been laying on a mat for over 30 to 40 plus years, and he couldn't walk, he couldn't move, God allowed him to stay in his infirmities so that he could show his glory. And the family and all the people at that time and all the people of of that town thought that his parents had sinned. If you know the Bible story that I'm talking about, but God got his glory in that, in showing the miraculous healings that Jesus performed by allowing him to walk and spread his message. And his story is still told to this day. God healing the guy that couldn't walk and couldn't move. Guys, so yes, you were brought here for a special purpose, a special reason. No one walked the walk that you walk, and there's people that will walk the same walk that you're walking, and your testimony will help them out. You're getting out of these predicaments will help them out. So don't believe anybody that tells you that. I just wanted to speak on that.
Salvation on me like it's a helmet. The way it's to sin is death for send you to hell quick. Wanted to be all about me, God, I was selfish. I was rebellious, but you didn't